Welcome, everybody, to another awesome episode of Harm's Way Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Craig. Across from me, again, as always, is my sweet, recently unemployed brother, Eric. Eric, how is it going today?
It's actually going great, man. It's amazing what
Nice.
I can do with all this time on my hands, you know?
He's got time.
I finished the
That's
novel.
top of the line.
I took up yoga. I got a kid on the way. It's amazing.
I started teaching Lamaze.
No, never do I. No. God, no.
That's funny. That's good. Did a
Being
crossword?
being in a room full of pregnant women for me that would be like being in a bottle
Horny?
factory.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant, too.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I know, that's weird. So, episode 50.
What was it you said?
You guys have watched, possibly, 50 of these fucking episodes. That's insane.
Yeah.
All 3 or 4 of you, and we love you for it. What were you going to say?
There was something you said earlier. Something about a Peter's noose.
Oh! I call it Peter's noose. So, those of you out there that have lived with any women with long hair for any extended period of time,
Gets everywhere.
women shed like a Burmese mountain dog. And I do too. I'll be the first to admit, this is the first time in my life that I've had long hair, though. So, and guys, they are going to know, and some people might call it something else. I just call it Peter's noose. Because it's when you happen to have one of your significant other's longest hairs on their body has detached and somehow been entwined in your penis, and you reach down, and whether it be in the shower to clean yourself or you're getting dressed, or hell, maybe you're just giving yourself a midnight tugger, right? And
Self-examination.
you pull, yeah, we'll go with that.
Self-
You pull back, and there's a noose around your cockhead, and when you pull, something's got to give, right? It's going to break or you're going to break. And depending on what conditioner your wife or significant other uses, sometimes you're the one that breaks. But it's the only way to get it off, and then sometimes you get off too, but that's besides the point. I call it Peter's noose.
I had never heard that before.
Okay.
But what was funny was when I had long hair, like you start to understand that shit gets
It
everywhere.
has to be really long hair, though.
Well, it was
You did,
pretty
yeah.
fucking long. But
Just like
I
right
had
on your shaft
I had
twice.
I had that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it was like, oh
It's
fuck.
down there. It's on your balls or something.
Yeah, you can
And you're
kind
pulling.
of feel something's up. You're like, oh, what's that? And then you start
downstairs
pulling,
on the right.
and then it's just like it just never ends.
Yeah, but when it keeps going, and you're like, all right, I'm making progress. But then in the back of your mind, you're going, oh
It's
no.
just getting tighter.
I'm not making progress.
It's just getting
I'm going to hurt someone. And the only one to hurt is you. And yeah, you get to the end, and you either feel the resistance, or if you're lucky, most of us aren't lucky, you have the actual end of it, and it's not wrapped around anything important. And you pull it out. In my opinion, it's usually wrapped around something important. Or intertwined in, I don't know, my mini bush or whatever I got going on down there that month.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about beer.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite type of beer?
A lager, a dark, porter.
Darker the better?
Yes, for me,
Are you
I'm
typically
not-
on a darker the better mindset?
I am. So, this is my outlook. I don't want to go on a huge rant, but if I'm drinking beer, I want to feel something. I don't want to be tossed or completely tore up. But I want to get a nice buzz going, right? And I want something that's going to last through food intake. Because if I'm drinking beer, I'm usually, eating shortly after or before. Excuse me.
Jesus wept.
Hence the body mass index. So, I don't like drinking Bud Light. I don't like drinking Busch Light. When you bring it over, I'll have a few. But I can't do more than 3, or else my excrement turns into lava, and it's
Jesus
just bad.
Christ. Okay.
But light beer to me is just it's a nice way to stay hydrated. Like I feel bloated.
I go through
and
these ups and downs where I get to the point, like I'll drink dark or heavy stuff for a while, and then I'm like, all right, I need to take a step back. Hence the Busch Light. Yeah. So I get there. You get these ups and downs and whatnot, where it's like, I just really want to drink something that's really nice, just nice and easy to drink. Get a little buzz on after work and just, hang out. So, but like, yeah, the darker the better.
I
Really?
think so.
Although, same with IPAs. I started out liking them, then hated them for a long time, and then started drinking them. I think more so it was because they get you buzzed up pretty quick.
IPAs, you have to be careful. I don't know what it is about IPAs.
If I had to be objective about like drinking an IPA and how it tastes and whatnot, they're not that good.
And they fuck up your stomach.
They tend to not be good.
They if I've gotten a fucked up stomach from beer,
yeah,
9 times out of 10 it's from an IPA.
Like if I was just rating,
I don't know why.
If I was rating beer based on taste, I would rate like a Budweiser or a Busch Light above most of the IPAs that I've drank
Really?
in my life. Yes, fuck yes.
That's some pretty good IPAs.
It's one of those things like
I don't like it when people are like, "Hey, try this IPA," and it tastes like shit.
Most of them taste like shit.
And you're like,
if I'm being objective, most of them taste like shit.
Some people might feel that way. I don't know. I've liked. I will say I've liked most of them.
I think for IPAs, it's
There's
mostly
been some favorites, of course, but
hey, this is an IPA. More often than not, it's going to taste like shit, but it's going to get you buzzed up pretty quick. But I don't think anything tops Guinness as far as just a pleasure to drink.
That's the best beer out there. Oh, God. By far.
That smoky kind of
milky, creamy. Yeah.
Indubitably.
Without, running the risk of making my pants tighter.
Yeah.
Guinness has always had a special spot now. I told you how I started. I told you the story of how I started drinking darker beer, right?
Side note, before you get started, did you hear about Jason Momoa when he was on the set of Aquaman or whatever?
Oh, I think.
He would ask them for a couple Guinnesses to, he said the one day they were trying to film and he was kind of feeling like, just like dragging, and just wasn't really feeling it. He said, fuck it, give me a couple Guinnesses. And he just chugged them right there on the set. And he said after that, he was just like, he was invigorated, his muscles pumped up, and like he was just ready to go. And I was like, God damn, man. But that's awesome that Jason Momoa likes Guinness.
A lot of people endorse and like Guinness. A lot of athletes and actors, actresses. Mm-hmm. It's an easy beer to love. Like, I get shit on when everybody's ordering Budweiser, Bud Light, Busch Light, Miller Light, whatever. And I'm over here all like, I'll take a Guinness. And they're like, oh, you want that tar in a glass? And I'm like, yeah. I want it running through my veins. I want it in my stomach.
If I'm being objective, I can see why people don't like the taste. But it's a hell of a lot more. At the very least, I think it's a hell of a lot more pleasant than fucking any IPA you pull off the shelf.
100%. Now you're making me regret that I didn't get Guinness a little bit ago.
It's fine. You got it.
Dos Equis Amber Lager is a
lagers are good.
Yeah.
There's a reason a lot of these beers have been around for 300 years.
And they don't advertise that much. Like Guinness doesn't have Super Bowl commercials. They don't have. I have seen commercials for.
There's
Guinness.
A lot of class that comes with Guinness. I think that's the thing. There's a lot of class that.
It's like the Rolls Royce of beer. I think
it's. Yeah, like you said, everybody else is ordering this and that, and you're like, I'll take a Guinness. It's like. I was going to compare it to the White Russian, but no. Yeah, there's just a lot of class and there's a lot of history there. What did we say? 1759 was when they started.
Yep.
And for the longest time on my bucket list was I wanted to take you to the brewery.
I know, and I'm so jealous you got to go.
It would be an easy trip to do.
Yeah.
I went to the Heineken brewery too.
Heineken, I don't.
See, I'm fine with Heineken.
You know the story of Heineken, right?
What?
They endorse dogfighting in Europe. In South America.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I got it. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Is it true?
Yeah. Well, you know why I stopped drinking Jameson, right?
Why?
The owner, Jameson, it was Jameson's like son, the one that took over for him after he died, and made Jameson a staple in the Scotch whiskey bourbon era.
That's another really old brewery too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Distillery. Sorry.
He went to Africa, and he was touring, meeting all these tribes and shit, and he brought like people. like indigenous people were helping him, travel in between these tribes. And well, he went to this tribe of cannibals, and he bought this little girl, and he paid the tribe to eat her in front of him. And they came over and they butchered her up.
Is this true?
Oh, 100%. Read about it online. But it was Africa, and it was way back when, so nobody really gave a shit. But there's handwritten accounts of first-person witnesses that were there in that camp watching all this happen. They said the girl didn't make a sound. She just got cut up. And
what the fuck?
And that was Jameson. That's why I don't fuck with them no more.
All right. You could have just said, nah, we'll talk about it later. It's pretty gruesome.
No, dude, look it up. I mean, anybody can fact check me on that and find shit online about it. I might have some of the details, swish, but the meat and bones of it is Jameson paid for a little girl to let a
Jameson Jr.
Well, yeah, but he's the Jameson everybody knows. Nobody knows the dad.
Is it really?
Or the grandpa. Yes. He's the one that moved them into the forefront of what they are. Because they're very old.
Do you know the Johnny Walker color coding system? From cheapest to most expensive?
Do you know how much one of the most expensive ones goes for?
Because I don't.
No.
I'm talking about like their
red and black
shit.
And gold.
I thought it was like blue. Blue was the most
one
expensive.
One of them is like a couple...
Jesus.
A couple...
Jesus, Craig. Breathe.
A couple $1,000 for a bottle.
In your nose, out your mouth.
It's all just in there.
That's something interesting that I look up from time to time. I'm like, what are the I know the color codes are like...
It's confusing.
It's kind of like a color code. I don't think they ever intended for that, but it's kind of like a color code from least expensive to most expensive.
You see like a bottle of red for like $50, and you're like, oh, that's not that bad.
I think it's blue is the most expensive, but I don't know.
I thought black or gold.
It might be. Yeah, they get up there.
But I know they're a very, very big and popular brand too, and I did not know that.
Johnny Walker? Oh yeah, man.
Same thing. Like, so if you want to stick along the Scotch bourbon whiskey line, I know we graduated from beer.
I don't know the difference between Scotch and bourbon.
It's the preparation, the distilling, the process, and everything, when it's stored, how it's stored. Because it's weird, because like Jack Daniels, regular Jack Daniels is, everybody knows it as a whiskey, but technically, I've heard that it's technically a bourbon. But you have bourbons, whiskeys, cool. In college, I drank a lot of whiskey. I didn't graduate until bourbon until like, I don't know, honestly, maybe 8 years ago.
Bourbon's usually a lot more expensive.
Bourbon's like your higher class. I mean, you can have some expensive whiskeys, some good whiskeys. But bourbon is like I want to get a bourbon set for the table here for us to pour a glass when we do a show. Yeah, I'm going to make the table that it goes on, though, out of a solid piece of oak. I'm going to stain it. And then I'm going to get some just cheap whiskey and decanter glasses. And I think I'm going to have a bottle of Woodford Reserve, which is my personal favorite bourbon. And I'll just have it here. We have guests over. I'll have 4
What's
glasses.
It called?
Woodford Reserve.
Woodford Reserve.
Yeah. And then there's Woodford Reserve Double Oak, which is, it's like the next step up.
Was it the Bullet something?
I don't know.
I can't remember. We got it at the liquor barn in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And it was... I don't remember if that was whiskey or bourbon or whatever. I can't...
Honestly,
I don't foray into...
The guest that I want to have
liquors much.
The guest that I want to have on next he's going to be the one to ask these questions to. He's a bourbon aficionado, if you will. That's Rachel's brother.
Oh, yeah.
He contacted me last night, and I said, yeah, man.
Cool.
He's checking his schedule to see when he can get on. But he knows a lot. I actually, for Christmas, I got him a bottle, or Mitch and I got him a bottle of Woodford Reserve Double Oak, which is, and he actually cracked it and had a couple with us, too. And man, that is a fucking phenomenal bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I just drink a couple of them. I really don't. The first time I had Woodford Reserve was actually at another friend's house. He put me onto it, and I was like, fuck, that is great. But that's more, I drink more of the liquors casually. Like, I'd like to casually have a bottle.
How long has Tito's been around?
Not that long.
Because I was going to say, Tito's just kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah, and everybody started drinking.
He's doing great. Tito is fucking doing great. Because I think it's still the original guy. I think his name's Tito, but the original owner that started it. And he kind of blew up, dude. Well, I mean, you sell a good product. It's going to happen. You know that. Yeah. That's the business side of things.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You can let things happen and you can get lucky, but if you sell a great product, that's what leads to higher things. Now, he gets mentioned in fucking movies and TV, and everybody smashes Tito's.
It just kind of came out of nowhere, and it's like a staple now.
It's a great...
If you're
I will say, of all the vodkas I've tried, it's actually a really great, like, standalone. Like, you can drink that normally. You can throw it on some rocks and drink it. It also mixes very well. But it's giving Grey Goose a run for their fucking money, dude. And it's like half the price.
Yeah, Grey Goose is really fucking expensive.
And it's okay, but I never really cared for it.
Do you still like Jaeger?
So
I never liked Jaeger.
Eric, this is another thing that I had to do some research on. Apparently, every couple generations in a family, someone is born with the Jaeger gene.
Jesus Christ.
Meaning, Jaeger tastes like water. I can drink Jaeger. And it's not that I like it. It's just I have the gene. You know, some people are born with a gene that makes them not like the taste of beer. I used to think to a degree I had that. I didn't know that was my Jaeger gene coming out. Because somebody gave me a shot of Jaeger, and it's like my fucking eyes go glassy, my pupils dilate, and I turn into the Jaeger Hulk.
It's like eating a pig's ass.
I could drink Jaeger, and the colder the better. And I could.
Oh yeah, if it's ice cold, you fucking can't really taste it.
And people are like, shots of Jaeger is such like a young college thing to do. Like, I don't think anybody does that at bars anymore. But it's like, oh my god, cold, frozen. Like when you take it out and the bottle is frozen, dude, my pants get tighter. I get ready to go.
Nah, that shit's fucking vile. I never liked it.
And fucking Rachel's mom and Nate, dude, they always used to drink it with us, and they'd get a bottle frozen, and
Nah, fuck that shit.
I don't know what it is.
Never liked it.
You could hand me a bottle of Jaeger, and I could drink the entire thing.
You're sick. You're fucking sick.
I know, dude. It's so stupid.
You're fucking sick.
That was just my thing. Like,
I remember at your wedding, we were in the basement of the church doing shots of that, and I was, no. Yeah, it was weird because I felt like kind of an outlier because it's all your friends. It's me and all your friends.
Oh, it's guys you grew up with too, though. Like
some of them, yeah, but like, it was kind of just like it felt out of place a little bit. But it was just doing shots, and I was like, I don't know if I should be here. I don't know if I should be doing that.
That's all right.
No, I didn't. I just don't like. I don't like Jaeger. Somebody is passing around Jaeger shots. I start like getting kind of shifty.
I don't, and don't get me wrong on this. Like, it's foul. Like
it's fucking foul. Yeah,
it hurts normal people. But to me, dude, I don't know what it is. When you take a shot of something, to a degree, there's a little bit of, whoa, I shouldn't have done that. Or, like, it feels awkward going in.
Yeah.
I don't have that with Jaeger. It hits my throat, and I'm like...
I don't know how.
I'm good.
I don't know how. That's just awful.
Dude.
I mean, it's pretty much any liquor.
And shout out to Rachel,
like
who's had to deal with me drinking Jaeger like water for a long time when we were dating. And married a little bit.
First shot of the night, I'll take anything but Jaeger.
See, I think that's to set the tone, Jaeger has to be your first shot. No. Okay, so back to the
No, like I can get, the first shot of the night, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Jaeger's just like, I'm immediately retching. I'm just like, nope, I'm going to throw up.
Back to the bourbon whiskey thing in the Guinness. We all went to this bar it was like the first time we kind of went there, but it turned into our favorite bar and grill, I guess. Because they do have awesome food. But the waitress, she's like, what do you guys want? And I was like, I don't know, what do you guys want to drink? And all my friends, they always drank like these bitch ass fucking drinks. And I was like, you know what? I looked at her, I was like, what can you make that's gonna fuck me up? And she goes, you ever had an Irish car bomb?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, no, that sounds violent and horrible. Why would anybody name something like that? Then I fucking tried one. She lines them up, and I call my friends over, And they're like, what is that? She's like, it's Guinness. And they're like, oh, and they all bitched. Like, they're all sad. And we're not friends now, but fuck them. They're, and one by one, everybody was like, and she's like, well, what's that? And it's an ounce of Bailey's creamer, and then an ounce of Jameson. And that's in one. No, so it's a 2 ounce glass. Yeah. So it's an ounce, and then you drop that bitch in the Guinness, and you have about 4.5 seconds before it curds. Because physics, right? Chemistry, bitches. So you drop it. We all Nostrovia dropped it, and fucking dude, I fucking hammered down this thing, and it was just like, I don't know, like my world opened. And I fucking slam it down, and I look, and everybody on this bitch-ass line is going, one dude's holding his fucking nose.
Okay.
So they couldn't finish it, and they would put him down, and I just one by one went over and finished them for him.
Jesus God.
And the lady goes, oh my God. I was like, yeah. She only charged me like $2 for each one, too. Like, that's great. So, fast forward a couple of years. We're up in Cleveland for somebody else's bachelor party that I'm no longer friends with, and who's no longer married, funny enough. But we find this hole in the wall Irish pub that's like pretty dope. Like, not many people are in there. Very chill vibe. Good looking bartenders. They had some munchies and food too, but we just went in. Our goal that night was to get fucked up. This was like in the middle. We left I don't know, some bar. The bars were weird up there. But, and I want to go back to this place to see if it's still there. But I walk up and the blonde lady, she's like, what can I get you guys? I was like, do you know how to make Irish car bombs? She's like, no. She's like, but I can make an Irish hand grenade. And I was like, well, what's that? She explains the exact same fucking drink to me. Like, that's it. And I was like, all right, I'll take 5 of those. And she goes, 5? I was like, yeah, it's my dude's bachelor party. She goes, oh. She's like, well, I'm only going to charge you $1 for each one. I was like,
aw, that was nice of her.
Okay. So I call everybody up, and she starts doing it. And a lot of people that were there with us were also there at the other bar. And they immediately start going, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, shut up, shut your fucking mouth. We're taking this, we're doing this. So the groom comes up, and he's like, this is going to fucking kill us. I was like, yeah, it is. So, and this was heavy drinking Craig, too. So this is a different animal. This was Jaeger Craig. So, my Jaeger years. So we do it.
Hammer your memoir. The Jaeger years.
It's like, for whom the Jaeger tolls. A farewell Jaeger.
The Jaeger also rises.
The old man and the Jaeger.
The Jaeger.
So, everybody this time did a lot better. Except for the people that weren't there with us in the bar years prior. And one dude slams it down. There was something different about the hand grenade. I forget what it was. It might have been the volume of the shot.
Yeah.
Because there were definitely bigger glasses. Definitely. Wow. So, the one dude's curds. And I was like, give me it. And I fucking drank it. Curded. And I'm
gonna be sick.
The bartender looks at me and she slides me about like half a glass of Guinness. And I was like, what's that for? She goes, that's free. That's to wash down the nasty shit you just drank. And I was like, thanks. And I fucking slammed it. And I was like, all right, one more hand grenade. And I turned around and everybody's like, nope, we're done. We're just gonna get some beer and watch the games. And she goes, bunch of pussies you rolled in here with. Wow. So I did another Irish hand grenade by myself, and then I got a beer and I was buzzing. I had to piss a couple minutes later, but
yeah, I remember.
Good times.
Place I used to work. we went to a bar after work, and 2 of the guys, they started racing. They started doing Irish car bombs and racing.
Chug it, yeah.
And after the 4th one, I was like, I gotta get out of here. This is gonna end up bad.
I don't know if I've hit 4 in a row.
They kept doing it again. It was like some twisted relay race. I don't fucking know.
It's a horrible way to drink, But
oh god, it was like they were on their
nothing
fourth,
hit you because they all
they
hit
were
you
on their
at
fourth
once.
one, and I was just like, I gotta get out of here. This is not gonna end.
Because what's going to happen is you don't feel anything. Don't feel.
I mean,
anything,
I
don't feel
admire
anything.
those two for being able to fucking
15
be
minutes
coherent.
later, blackout. Like
Well,
they
that's-
smack you, Eric. But it's also
That
Guinness.
was
Like
awful.
we talked about. Like I personally, to me,
I
it's the
know.
Rolls Royce of beer. I think it's a great beer. I'll probably always drink Guinness.
The brewery is fun.
And I do want to go there with you. Did I tell you my story about how I started on dark beer though? I can't remember if I ever brought it up on the podcast.
No, I don't think so.
So in college,
Yeah.
because you know what? Fuck it. It's our show. In high school, tail end of high school going in and college, you show up to a party and everybody's got the shit beer. Everybody's got the Bud Lights, the Busch Light, the Miller Lite. I thought was a pretty good beer. I drank Miller Lite, but you know what I mean, like the Milwaukee's Breast, the shitty of the shit.
Rockdale Light. I didn't even know about that shit until
Keystone Light, and I don't think that's around anymore. I think Keystone
Really?
Light's out. I've never seen
Really?
it. I haven't seen it in years.
Dude,
So-
Rockdale was like the shit that was like, it was like
I know.
$11 at Walmart for a case.
30, yeah. So I know what you're
Holy
talking about.
fucking shit.
So people would show up, and everybody, like, if you put your shit in the fridge or in a cooler or something, it'd get drank because everybody thought it was somebody else. So if you had a bunch of people only bringing Bud Light, people that drink fast are going to drink more at this party. They're going to get fucked up more. They're going to drink your beer, and then you're out 16 pints. So I'd show up with Guinness Extra Stout. Molson Triple X was my go-to. 7.3% alcohol. Fucks your world up. And Canadian beer, shout out. Still, Canadian and Mexican beer are pretty fucking good to me.
Tecate wasn't bad.
What?
Tecate wasn't bad.
I think the three Mexican
I wouldn't say it was
ones,
really all that good, but it was like a Tecate versus a Budweiser. It's like
I like Tecate. See, I think
Tecate's
tastes
just fine.
better. See, well, Budweiser's a damn good beer. That's my go-to if I can't.
Budweiser's
have
a
anything.
solid beer.
Yeah, but the three Mexicans, Tecate Sol, Dos Equis, fucking banging, man. My favorite is Dos Equis. Sometimes.
Dos Equis is like light years ahead of Tecate, but Tecate
That's a Mercedes.
Tecate gets shit on, and it's like it's not that bad.
Tecate.
It's not that bad.
Tecate is like a.
It's not that good, but it's not that bad.
It's like a Honda Accord Limited. Like it's a brand new sport version of the coupe.
yeah. I don't know
Soul.
what that means.
Soul is like.
I never had Soul.
Soul is like a. I don't know, like a Hyundai Genesis, maybe. It's misunderstood, but not many people are going to fuck with it.
Misunderstood.
So I gotta go get that.
It's
other
like
beer, and I'll tell you the
Bigfoot.
story.
He's misunderstood.
Misunderstood is not fictional, but okay. See all those videos coming out now? I see them on TikTok. And people are like, Bigfoot's real, and it's like somebody driving, and then just some random dude in a big black suit walking. And you're like, you're not fooling me again, dickhead.
Do you think Bigfoot's real?
Oof, I think we got 30 minutes left, Eric. I think we saved that for another show.
No. Why?
Just get the hatchet.
No, you can't get the hatchet. Do you think Bigfoot's real?
I think there are anomalies in this world that that nobody can explain. I think so. You have of all the land masses in the world, you have 30% of them haven't been explored by man. If you have a world that has 70% covered by sea, yet only 30% of that sea has been mapped and seen by man, you're going to have some species of shit that you didn't know existed.
As far as the oceans go, they discover new species every year.
Literally.
Shit we don't know about. So maybe
And then you have
it does exist.
you have extinct species coming back too that people don't know about. The Tasmanian tiger. There's actually been several sightings within the last 20 years.
Are you sure about that?
Look it up. The Tasmanian tiger being coming back. Now, it's smaller, which they found was weird, because if you saw video footage of it from back in like the 20s and 30s, it was about the size of Chase. It was a large dog. The ones they're seeing now are fucking smaller. They're more along the lines of, a smaller medium dog. Not small, a medium dog. And they're seeing them like chupacabra sightings. But it's obvious that it's a Tasmanian tiger, though. It's not a fucking dog.
Did you see, this was about 6 months ago. Did you see at I think it was the Houston Zoo? It was a zoo, I think, in Texas. Maybe it's Wichita. They had...
Wichita's Kansas, but okay. Wichita
Yeah,
Falls
you're right.
is
Okay,
Texas.
yeah, you're right. Somewhere down there, I think. But they had like a perimeter camera that caught this thing standing up.
That is good.
It looked like a wolf standing on two legs. It looked like a goddamn werewolf. Did you see that?
No. See, that's the thing.
And like
you gotta
it
be
was
careful with
standing
the
outside
footage.
the gate, just like lurching around and shit.
Just waiting for its sister.
Or standing outside the fence. Yeah, it was like a perimeter fence that had a
No,
camera
I
on.
didn't see that. I'm going to have to look that up. Now,
Nobody ever there was no conclusion on that. They were just like, we're gonna look into it. Nobody did. What the fuck was it? It looked like a wolf standing on two legs, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's a goddamn werewolf, man."
I think 100%, Eric. I think there are things.
It could have been a wolf standing on two legs.
Cannot be explained. 100%.
Do we know of wolves standing on two legs?
To reach.
I don't know. I've seen
things,
raccoons
yeah.
run on two legs. Scary as fucking. Scary. Absolutely horrifying. You ever seen them where they come in, they scoop like dog's food out of a bowl, and they go running off?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Please, sir, may I have some more? Yeah. The
fucking trash pandas.
trash pandas. Now, as far as like getting into a hard yes or no on the Bigfoot thing,
loud.
I don't know, man. I don't. Bigfoot is a very specific. I mean, like, do you believe in Slender Man? Like,
No, that's stupid.
So you tell me, 100% you believe in Bigfoot?
I think he's out there.
He or them? Because if he was, he
them.
would have had to have been.
Them.
He's being cited in multiple different countries.
Oh yeah, there's like this
Sea-locked countries, and he's
Out
not
west,
jumping on a cargo
out
boat.
west. It's Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, Yeti,
In Ohio, it's the Ohio Grass Man.
West Virginia, they just call him fucking Larry because he lives down the street
Yeah,
on a holler,
on the holler.
big dick holler.
Yeah,
And then
I don't know. We talked about Canada, right? They got all that land and all that wilderness.
That's what I mean.
Unexplored. Nobody
60% of it is never been explored.
You go and like live out in a cabin in the middle of nowhere or whatnot. Fuck, you might come across something.
You're gonna see some shit.
You might see some shit you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
But the moral of the story is that not the majority, but a large portion of the world has been unseen by man, unmapped, untouched. Not just land, but the sea as well.
Yeah, the sea.
So I'm not saying there might be species of primates out there that no one. I don't want to bring up. Fuck, what was that movie about the crazy gorillas?
Congo.
I don't want to bring up Congo, but there could be a species.
What was it that made them crazy? I don't remember that movie.
They just evolved. Oh, it might have been the artifact or whatever where they were.
It was some like witchy.
But they're saying I just read
spiritual
something.
shit.
Yeah, I just read something that they discovered a brand new species of chimpanzees that are bigger, stronger, and like beating the fuck out of gorillas, like large silverback gorillas, because they're more bipedal. They function more like humans, and a chimpanzee has the strength of
There was
however many men.
what was it? Orangutans started spearfishing
Yeah,
a while back.
using tools and
Yeah, there was a big thing about 10, 15 years ago where
they think there's
they think,
evolution.
Yeah, they think like a lot of these large primates have started to enter the Stone Age.
Of their time. Wouldn't that be
Exactly.
something crazy?
Yeah, they think. Well, I've seen videos of the orangutans. They'll hang on a tree that hangs out over like the river or whatever, and they'll sit there with a fucking spear and just.
Well, not just
nab
that,
a fish.
they're
fucking crazy.
They're having a species of primates that are strictly herbivores are now switching and now omnivores, or strictly carnivorous, meaning they're eating other animals or eating the plants that they were used to eating. I mean, you had generations of them that were only herbivores. And now all of a sudden they're switching to carnivores, and their guts and their body, they can all handle that shit. They've always been able to handle it. So it's kind of crazy, like when you think about it on the grand scheme of things.
They're progressing, evolving.
I think it's an evolution would be the only way to describe it.
I guess
because now if you're
chimps
talking
are
about
fucking crazy though. Like there's some, they've been known to make war, like we do, like war.
Yeah.
On other clans and whatnot. They've been known to like.
Well, they battle.
Like you get in a battle and you kill somebody. That's one thing.
Revenge.
Yeah, like revenge killings and executions.
Yeah, they've been
like
able to avenge.
They've exhibited that behavior too, and it's like, oh fuck, this.
And they can do it organized too, so they can actually fight a troop or herd or whatever the fuck you want to call it of gorillas, of silverback gorillas. And if a tiger or some type of bigger predator gets a hold of one of them and kills it, they've actually been known to hunt down in a team using tools or weapons, if you will, hunting down that predator.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking creepy. Because at what point is a degree of Planet of the Apes possible? I know that's a big
It's going to
jump,
be insane when they develop a competitor for YouTube. I mean, could be the hero we deserve. Could be the hero we need right now.
Jesus.
I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy how like we get to see that happen. Them start using tools and
it's
shit like
going to
that.
be weird because
primates just entered the Stone Age. Like, what the fuck?
In several generations, are those orangutans going to be born with, a different appendage or a different arm type, or is their body going to change in some point that's going to make them more able to throw that spear? Because that's the next step that happens in evolution. And now that takes several. I think it might take like thousands or hundreds of years or something, but.
Well, I think
it's expedited.
They have a capacity for intelligence that goes beyond most animals. So I think they're able to be taught things, and then they they emulate it, and it works out for them, and then they keep doing it. So that kind of thing, or they expand upon it. Like I think they have that intelligence to be able to do that. So maybe they picked it up from seeing people. I don't know.
What do you think religion's answer to all that is? How do you think Christianity looks at that and says, no, our views are what happened?
What are you talking about? Like creationism versus...
Yeah, evolution. Oh, man. Again, we could save that for another show, but just to put the, just the tip. What, how do you think someone who's a devout Christian looks at hard evidence of evolution? And only because I've never really argued it with them. I've never really, sat down. I would love to get somebody on the show that 100% is against the theory of evolution completely and wants to sit here and say, because I believe in God. I'm religious to a degree. But I think when it comes to that, I think the evidence of one
this
is
is
a hell of a
Lewis
lot
Black's
higher.
bit with the fossil. He's like, next time they start spouting off, I'm going to show them a fossil.
I think if you ask...
And if they keep talking, I'm going to throw it just over their head. Yeah,
I think if you line them up and somebody... And they just get force-fed all this evidence of evolution. All this hard fucking evidence to all this crazy stuff that line it up for you like, hey, this is how it happened. And then, their rebuttal is, God burned a bush and talked to a guy and he wrote a book. Like, how do you handle that?
Well, there's the story about the burning bush and whatnot. There's been speculation that maybe that was a psychedelic experience.
Dude, they've been picking apart religion for years. I mean, in aspects of that. And they're saying, this happened, well, this could have happened around this time period. Well, this could have physically happened because the Earth was at this point. And it's crazy because I get it, evolutionists or whatever, they get it. At what point are they kind of just poking at creationism people? And then at one point because I'm always going to be slanted one side.
But the question is, did we create God or did God create us?
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
And you say that to the wrong person, their head will fucking spin. But I don't understand how religion automatically has to equal closed-mindedness. Like religion, if your beliefs, I get it. If you want to hold them, that's fine. But don't close yourself off to the possibility of other shit happening. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And then they have to. The other thing is religion, hiding behind religion, using religion as a sword, in trying to convert others into your thinking, like, and with some weak ass evidence. Like, I don't get it. If you're religious, that's fine. Don't force it on anybody. And
I think that's most people's problem with it. Honestly, that's most people's problem with it. That's most people's problem with anything. Any new fad or whatever, it's like, you're forcing this on us, we don't like this.
Just leave us alone.
Yeah, and
there's no
people that are pushing problem don't seem to understand that. But
with people thinking that, oh, God created everything, and people thinking, oh, we evolved from apes. There's no, think what you want. Who fucking cares? I just don't get it. And I see the religious people more often getting mad because they can't get the evolutionist people on their side. And since, like, religions, you don't get fucking points for a membership for bringing people over, you know? Like, just let them fucking think what they want to think. We don't care that you're religious. That's fine. Do your thing.
Well, yeah, I've said before that, like,
I believe
especially when it comes to, like, politics and whatnot, like, leave religion in the home. Like,
very much so.
You shouldn't. We should. When it comes to politics and it comes to decisions that can affect everybody, there needs to be a moral. The driving factor should be moral. Morality should be kept in mind.
You have to draw a line in the sand.
It gets blurry because a lot of those moral values were brought on by Christianity, Judaism, what have you. Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah.
Ben talks about it a lot.
But a lot of horrible things have come from that too.
You can be not religious at all, and you can still be a moral person. You could still be a force for good and recognize evil. And
I don't understand how
reject evil.
The same people who says, God says love everyone, treat everyone with respect, can turn around and feed pagans to lions and think that that's all right. Like, I never fucking got that part of the history.
Oh, well, you're probably referencing a part of history that, like, Craig, the world wasn't
bad things though.
Standards change.
A lot of bad.
So, like, our standard of civility 300 years ago was just. You look at our standard of civility now compared to 300 years ago. 300 years ago was fucking crazy,
I know.
man. And if you stood up and said "fuck the king," you were drawn and quartered.
And on the lines,
and that is a horrible, horrible fucking way to die.
And on the lines of evolution, Christianity has directly affected us evolving as a species and a society too. A lot of ideas got shot down because of, people in religious power didn't feel comfortable or thought that it was against fucking electricity and fire. Like, they didn't want to.
Yeah, they thought it was mysticism and all that shit.
Yeah. Magic, modern medicine. People wanted to use modern medicine, and they called you a witch and burned you at the stake. Like, at some point, what are you doing? You're not preaching, what God's word is. You're just fucking torturing and killing people for no reason. Yeah. You're holding back a society from keeping people. Like, they say that our lives could have been extended, like the average lifespan could have been extended hundreds of years ago. But it wasn't, because the church didn't like the practices of modern medicine. It's fucking gross. Children. Childbirth.
Hundreds of years?
Yeah, hundreds of years. What did I say?
You said our lifespans could be
expanded. Not 200 years. I'm saying hundreds of years ago, the average lifespan was like 32. Oh, okay. You could have extended that with modern medicine.
Well,
the church was against it.
I mean, there was a lot of...
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean that people could live to be 100
You sounded like people could live to be hundreds of years old. All of a sudden, they put a stop to it.
The porter got me. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, like... Modern medicine was a fight.
Everything was a fight. A fulcrum was a fight.
That was the thing, because you had the entire populace that was scared of
religion,
mysticism,
spread on fear.
Scared of things they didn't understand and whatnot. And the church was always like the rock, right?
Christianity was
You
born
think
of
back,
fear.
You think back to like Europe in the 14, 15,
Yes.
1600s and whatnot. Like the church
Where
was
do I go when I die?
the church was a much bigger focal point of the state than it is now. Okay, we have separation of church and state, and that's kind of they're two different entities, and it's just different now. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It's just different now because we have that separation.
I think we have a mild separation. I think one of the driving forces in the division of the two dividing political houses there are, the political parties there are.
There is.
Fuck, man, the Porter's kidding me hard. But I think the main division there is caused by religion. I don't think it's the only reason, but I think it's one of the biggest reasons.
I don't think
because when people see Republicans or hear Republicans, they think rich white Catholics.
I don't think religion is. It's not nearly as prominent in politics and whatnot as it used to be. Yes, you still have the Republicans from red states, the Bible Belt, all that shit. But like, I think people are they're more woken up to the fact that that's not so much a factor anymore.
Will you agree with me if I said that Christianity was born of fear and spread of fear?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Why not?
I don't think it's fear. I think it's it was born out of love and grace and
So you think the intent was golden in the beginning? You think the intent was pure?
Oh, do I think
but
religion
I think
has been weaponized against people?
100%.
Fuck yeah.
Anybody who
for thousands of years now.
fucking knows
Yes.
about Islam knows that can happen and is happening. But that's not saying Christians aren't
It's not
clean.
just Islam, Craig.
It's not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying of the ones in the modern time, Islam has been picked apart for doing it. Now, what Islam's doing now is nothing different than what Christianity has been doing for hundreds
Well, there was
of
the
years.
Crusades. That was religion being weaponized or weaponization
But I definitely
on behalf
think
of religion.
that the spread of Christianity was based on fear. It's easy for people to pick up these ideals and these practices when they don't know what happens when they die, and they see all these bad things happening. And what's the church preach? If you do good things and you pray and you pay, good things will happen for you. So they fucking do it.
Yeah, that was
and
the thing. Back in the Middle Ages and all that, they believe that.
That's what I'm going.
You paid a
yeah.
stipend to the church. You got. It's like really.
You didn't get protection.
It's like
of food.
well, that kind of logic and reason.
You got a back door
was
into
not
heaven.
held by people who lived back then because fear of the church and they didn't know anything about science and whatnot. Philosophy, really. I mean, people forget about the Renaissance, how that was it wasn't just an artistic movement. It was the Enlightenment, really. New way of thinking, philosophy. A lot of the greatest philosophers that are still quoted to today came out of the Enlightenment period and whatnot. New way of thinking, coming out of the Middle Ages. Before the Middle Ages was the Dark Ages.
But the greatest inventions we had came out of the Industrial Revolution. Ideas and stuff were great.
You would be
but
surprised.
Actual things that came out of movements, if you say, were later on.
And what was that built on? Okay, a lot of that was built on science, and you'd be surprised.
The shift. That's what. Okay.
You'd be surprised going back how many years. Like Isaac Newton was what, the 1500s or something.
Yeah.
It was
Galileo.
It was a long time ago, and those guys,
Machiavelli.
there's a saying nowadays that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and we are. Isaac Newton, the shit that he came up with, and he pretty much came up with it out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. Because an apple.
That guy was smart as fuck. He was, and it built, and it built, and it built, and it built, and I gotta go to the bathroom.
And they fucking killed him.
Oh God! They didn't kill him.
That was a joke. Because like Socrates, he thinks differently. Let's poison him. Yeah, so this is fucking awkward again. I don't really have much to say, so I'm gonna look at Facebook. Wait till my brother gets back. Oh. Donuts filled with baked beans. Foul. Ugh. Oh, God. Don't lowball me. I know what I have. Fuck you. God, those are dope. I'll buy this kid some fucking walkers. Fuck. Fuck. What?
Nothing. You. Sorry about that.
You're alright.
Comes with the territory.
I did see. I saw this really cool quote the other day, and I don't fucking remember what it's from. It's from some show or movie where the guy that played in the original Friday Night Lights, he played Billingsley.
Yep.
That guy.
The kid from Sling Blade?
Yes. He. No.
Wait, no.
No. You're talking about.
You're talking about Garrett Hedlund.
I'm talking about the guy that played number 26, the running back.
Billingsley, the one that couldn't hold on to the ball?
Yes.
Okay.
Whose dad
The white guy, you're not talking about Booby.
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you about the white guy.
Well, I was just making sure I had the right guy.
He said he was.
Yeah, it's Garrett Hedlund. He's been in
was-
a bunch of shit.
Yeah, he was doing this monologue. And he
Monologue
was
for what?
He was it's some show or movie scene he's in, and he's all cracked out, skinny, all scratchy, and fucking sweated up, and he's sitting there. He's like, if you're my enemy, I will walk through heaven and punch God in the face to find you. If you are my friend, I will walk through hell and slap the devil for you. And I don't know. I got goosebumps just.
You don't remember what show it was?
No, I gotta fucking look it up because
He was in Four Brothers, too.
yeah, that guy.
show. Yeah.
Fuck, what was his name in Four Brothers?
Oh. Jack.
Jack! Dude, that scene, I still fucking tear up when I watch that show. Or that movie.
It's hilarious where they show it Mark Wahlberg shitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
Garrett Hedlund's in the shower.
Jackie Boy! Yeah, that fucking...
Give me some more TP!
What an underrated movie.
Yeah. I wish we had more brothers.
Showing post-war Detroit.
Could you imagine if there was 5 of us?
Why in the fuck would you wish that did that?
Could you imagine if there was
No.
5 of us?
And I'm the oldest? Y'all would have been fucked.
I couldn't imagine
You would
having...
have been the middle.
I couldn't imagine having 3 younger brothers.
No, I'm glad Dad's pull-out game got better, but I don't think
Jesus
I
Christ.
could have. I barely...
Do you think about that from time to time? Of it?
More siblings? Yeah.
About like if we had more siblings and
Every
what
once in a while.
would...
I don't know, because, like...
I mean, imagine if there was 3 older than you.
No.
Because, you know,
I'm the oldest. They would have been older than me.
Mom and Dad were kind of older when they started having kids.
It would have been one of those weird situations where they were older than me, but I was the oldest brother.
If I had 4 older... I just can't imagine...
I would have been able to be middle.
I couldn't imagine there being 3 older brothers than you.
You know...
I'm last in line. Like, I couldn't imagine that.
Do you ever
That's
notice how it's
fucked
kind
me,
of
man.
weird? You and I are flip-flop, though. How they always say, like... They say the first is the one that doesn't give you trouble. And the second or last child is the one that gives you all the trouble. And how that was, like, flip-flop for us.
I would...
Like, in the grand scheme of things, you probably should have been the older brother.
Are Are you saying I caused a lot of trouble?
No.
I'd say we both had our fair share of fuck-ups.
We did, but they said, like, the oldest is the more serious one.
Yeah.
The one that's more goal-oriented. Like, they described it, the oldest, and it was you to a T. And they described the youngest, and it was me. And I was like, fuck, something happened.
I've heard it the other way. The first...
Okay, yeah.
The first is the one that kind of...
Is the free
feeling
spirit.
stuff out. The younger... How was this explained to me? With three brothers, the oldest one's the one that's kind of just feeling stuff out, but doing all right. The second one's the one that's really goal-oriented and, like, usually comes out successful. And it's the third one that's usually a fuck-up. I've heard the term power sibling been used before.
You do know, technically with Angela, you would have been the third.
Yeah, and I am a fuck-up.
No, not at all. I do need to go over there and put some flowers down coming up here. Because I'm the fuck-up.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, man. Like,
well, even a sister growing up with us would have been fucking difficult.
Yeah, she would.
We would have had to.
She
have
would have been a real
house.
Chris Cyborg type. She would have had to be. No, not really.
She would have been. Angela would have been tough as fuck, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And like also really independent.
She would have got married at like 20 and been rich as fuck, and then here it is 12 years later. You and I are still fucking poor as shit trying to do this shit.
We're trying to like cut her trees down in her backyard to fucking sell the wood.
We started a podcast just to get by. She's living in fucking Jackson on some fucking estate or something.
But like she picks up every time we call. Like one of those
probably.
Families, yeah.
You need a lawyer? Alright, I got you.
She's yelling at her rich ass husband to like bail us out of jail and shit. Oh, yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that quote, it got me a little bit. I was like, whoa. Because it was profound, not just the way he was like saying it in the scene, but the quote itself is quite powerful. Because, and I don't know the context. He was literally talking to a wall. It looked like, so I don't know who he was talking to or what it was, but it was an Oscar-worthy scene that I saw, or at least a nominee. Just because he was, I don't know, it was very Leo-esque, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he's won any Oscars. He is very good in everything he's in.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I just started thinking about Henry Cavill leaving The Witcher. I don't know how this is going to go.
I don't know either, because I just went back and watched The Witcher, and
yeah,
it's not a hard character. Excuse me. I'll say this. If you go by lines, speaking, it's not a hard character to fill. You have to exude that character already in real life. And I feel like Henry Cavill does that wherever he does. In everything he does.
Well, the thing was he was really committed to the source material. And
but I think he was coming in as
he was at odds with the writers and whatnot. They want to change a bunch of shit up, and
because with Geralt, that character a little bit goes a really long way, and they humanized him a couple times in a couple scenes in different episodes, which was nice to see. But you do that to a degree with who you have playing that actor, or what actor you have playing that character. Sorry, and I think that's harder to do with some actors. He hits it right on the head.
Well, yeah,
you know what
because
I mean?
he was familiar with the source material,
but
who the character is supposed to be.
Yeah, and I don't want the show to fail because of casting.
No, I'm just worried. I'm just fucking worried. I'm afraid the new season's supposed to drop sometime this year. But I
have seen 0 photos of him as
I get really
Geralt.
turned off when they change actors in the middle of a fucking show like that.
Yes.
So there's that. It could be good. Like, I was a little worried about Altered Carbon.
Sorry.
Damn.
Oh, with the guy they used?
I was a little worried about Altered Carbon, but Anthony Mackie did a fucking fantastic job. Because you are But the thing is, changing actors for that show made sense.
Wait, which one got changed in Altered Carbon? The tall white guy?
It was Joel Kinnaman the first season, and then it was Anthony Mackie the second. But the thing is, with that universe, you know, they're changing bodies, they're changing sleeves, right? So it made sense. It made perfect sense to do that. But I was a little worried, but Anthony Mackie fucking knocked it out.
That's good. He's underrated as shit.
They did a really good job.
The Hawk, right? Or Black Falcon.
Yeah.
He's very underrated. Nate Ruffett.
He's
in We Are Marshall.
Oh fuck yeah, he's
Come
a
on,
great
dude.
actor.
Come on.
I was a little worried going into it, but like he knocked it out of the park, and I think he stayed true to the character, and it was really like, okay,
Oh, fuck.
yeah, it's starting to get.
I only have one left in there.
But so that show kind of called for it, but now we have a different Geralt. I'm not good with names, man.
It's
I'm
Geralt.
not good with names.
Geralt of Riviera.
So I'm just Rivia.
I don't.
You're saying air at the end.
I'm saying the same thing.
No, you're fucking not. You're saying Riviera.
How about Geralt of Lick My Ass, Eric? Is that better?
Fuck you, Craig.
You know it's a good one when you use my name back.
Yeah, I resent that.
Well, that's solid. So, okay. It's alright. I'll put it under my balls.
Well.
Did I say that out loud?
So yeah, I don't like it when they change actors in the middle of the show.
It's very hard.
We'll see how this goes. I'm kind of worried.
Maybe we'll all go to Riviera.
I like Henry Cavill way more than Liam Hemsworth.
The Hunter. So
if it was Chris, I'd probably be like,
I don't get it. Why wouldn't they do?
That's the thing. If it was Chris Hemsworth, I'd be like, okay, that's probably more of somebody I would have play Geralt. But Liam is all. I don't know. It's fucking bullshit. Whatever. Who fucking cares?
I'm not saying...
They're remastering the second and third... No, they're remastering the first two video games. Because the first game is old as shit. The third game was where like, fucking people were just like, oh, this is great. So they're remastering the first two.
I've seen Liam do some good things. Very good things in shows and movies. Mainly movies. But I do agree with you. I'm scared.
That thing is fucking frozen solid.
I don't know what's about to happen.
It's.
Do you see this?
Yes, it's.
Mama! It's like the world's worst slushy.
Craig's beer is slowly slushying out the top.
Oh, it's coming!
It's like a frozen volcano.
It's like a... Oh...
Did you take them all out of there?
Yeah.
Good.
This was the last one, I think. It's like a really shitty slushy.
Yeah, that's not good. That's like that one I had frozen the other day.
It's just coming.
Yeah.
Side note, that is the perfect temperature for beer when you actually get beer, which is all at the bottom now. I also have to watch that. So we're at 103. It's been a very progressive episode. I feel like we hit some very good points.
We rambled on about religion and shit. We didn't answer any fucking question. We did not provide any like good insight to that.
To be fair, we don't really have a platform where people
science
can ask us
versus
questions.
religion. We didn't fucking even.
I'd love to get to the point where people would comment and be like, "Hey, talk about this," because that would be like half the battle. Like, "Hey, Bob, some good fucking content we could talk about," and then people are like, "Oh, Jews," and then we fucking just talk about it, you know? Like, I guess that's the pipe dream. But Eric, why don't you tell the great people where to find us for episodes 1 through 50, and then 51 tomorrow.
Are we doing 51 tomorrow?
I'd like to.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't want to, we can postpone.
No,
it.
we can do it.
50 was the important one. I wanted to hit today. I wanted to get some burr.
We're a day late.
Day late and $1 short.
And $1 short. 369.
We're like $1.3 million short. But someday, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You can find us at Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer, Ghana. Videos will be uploaded to YouTube and Rumble. Everything is at Harm's Way Podcast. If you're searching on Rumble, search by channel, not by video, or you're never going to find us because we're nobodies.
Never gonna give you up.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Thanks
Leave
for
us
loving.
a like, comment, share,
Share.
subscribe.
Give us a try. First one's free. As always, we love you, so give us some love back. Or vice versa. I feel like I usually say that, but whatever. Until next time, my beer's about to come up again. We will see you guys later.
All right, bye.
Bye.